So this is probably going to be the nerdiest series on YouTube, but this is the stuff I think about on a regular basis, so I might as well put it in video form. I'm going to take every single NBA team and I'm going to give you my opinion on how they can improve moving forward. And we're going to start with the Atlantic Division. We're going to start with my Boston Celtics. Brad Stevens has done a fantastic job with this team, but it's essentially a team of glorified role players. And the only guy who seems like he could progress into an all-star is probably Marcus Smart. So we're going to need some help. The first thing we need is a real rim protector and a rebounder. And the guy I think they should go for is Willie Cauley-Stein out of Kentucky. But they're going to have to draft him, and I think their position is a little too low right now. So here's the trade. You're going to trade the 16th pick as well as Avery Bradley to move up and draft Stein out of Kentucky. Then, in free agency, you're going to go for either Chris Middleton or Tobias Harris. You're also going to re-sign Jay Crowder. And hopefully you can make one of those things happen. You can at least re-sign Crowder. And then from then on, you're going to bank on Marcus Smart's improvement. And once a star becomes available, you'll be able to trade for him because we have 1,000,005 draft picks. Now, how did the Celtics get all those picks? Well, Billy King and the Brooklyn Nets basically butchered their future to go for a championship in one season. And now they're paying for it. But it's not as terrible as you think, actually. Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, and Brook Lopez's contracts will all be up by next season because Williams has an early termination option. And Mason Plumlee seems like he's going to be a real player. So at the very least, in a couple of seasons, you can play the free agency game, and hopefully Plumlee has become like a borderline all-star at that point. That's pretty much all you have because they don't have any of their own draft picks until 2019. So I really can't offer any support. You can't do anything. They don't have the cap space. They have no draft picks. You literally can't do anything. So it's just the waiting game with the Nets. Now the Toronto Raptors are in a better position, but they're really just products of the Eastern Conference. So first things first, Dwayne Casey gotta go. I mean, I can't tell you how frustrating it is watching this guy spend 20 seconds of the shot clock trying to get DeMar DeRozan some awkward mid-range post-up. Not only that, but he's sitting James Johnson when he should be in there defending Paul Pierce. I mean, what the hell is that? So, Dwayne Casey gotta go. I don't know who his replacement is, but he needs to be let go of Toronto. Now, the Raptors are in an awkward position with their salary cap because, as of right now, they're going to be $15 million under the cap this summer. However, the one free agent they're going to contemplate re-signing is Lou Williams. Now, he's probably going to go for like $10 million on the open market because the salary cap's going to be shooting up. So if you want to re-sign him, you're pretty much butchering any chances of you filling any other hole on your team through free agency. So I'm going to drop some game on you. The Toronto Raptors need to let Sixth Man of the Year Lou Williams walk. Yes, let him walk and sign what you really need, which is a power forward who can get some rebounds. And who happens to be a free agent? Well, there's Paul Millsap, but I don't think he leaves Atlanta. There's a guy by the name of Tristan Thompson who is a restricted free agent this offseason. Imagine Tristan Thompson in a starting lineup playing 30 minutes a game. You think he can't average double-digit rebounds? I'm pretty sure he can. Now let me also say Valanciunas was a bit of a disappointment this season. Not a bad player by any means, but you thought he was going to make a little bit more of a leap, and he really didn't. He just kind of stayed the same, so I think next season is make it or break it for him if he can be a starting center for this team. Now let me get back to Lou Williams for a second. You could actually re-sign him because I mentioned before the salary cap is shooting up by like $20 million in like a year or two. I forget what it is, but you could re-sign him, but then you're going to have to be patient and wait an entire season to where you can then enter next free agency to get your power forward. Do you really want to just sit there for an entire season? Because I don't. But I guess they could go that route. Funny thing is, I think they actually will go that route. So the last two teams of the division, the Knicks and the Sixers. Let me start with the 76ers. It doesn't matter what I say because Sam Hinkie's just going to do what he wants, but they just got to bank on Joel Embiid and Nerlens Noel being really good, which Noel seems like he's going to be a real defender and a rebounder for a long time. Hopefully Embiid can be that post presence for them. Looking back on it, I understand the Michael Carter-Williams trade. I still don't necessarily agree with it because you just basically gave up on the guy after one season. and I do not agree with the KJ McDaniels trade at all, but whatever. Just hope Embiid and Noel can be your thing, and let Sam Hinkie keep on doing whatever the hell he's doing. And finally, the New York Knicks. Listen, y'all. Does anybody think the Knicks are going to land any big free agents this offseason? Because I don't. Listen, they got a draft pick moving forward. You want to know what I think the Knicks should do? You ready for it? Trade Carmelo Anthony. Because look, he's going to be 31 years old going into next season. And if this franchise is competent enough to turn this around, which is a legitimate question, Melo's going to be like 34, 35 years old by the time it happens. At that point, you really want that leading your team? I think if you trade Melo for some draft picks and one or two young players who can really be building blocks, I think that's going to get you on the right track to turning this around. Because what you're doing now, just holding on to Carmelo Anthony for the sake of it, I don't think it's going to work. I really don't. But that's it. That's my opinion of the Atlantic Conference, how some of these teams can not suck. By the way, Derek Fisher is a terrible coach. They need to make a change there if he doesn't start realizing he's the coach of an NBA team. But that's it. I guess leave me your opinion on what these teams should do moving forward, and that's it.